I'm starting this story with a question, and the question is, how did one murder shake the world's most powerful governments? Hello viewers, I'm Kavya Khandelwal and you're watching The Edge. Jamal Khashoggi, the Saudi journalist whose death inside a consulate in 2018 became one of the biggest global headlines of the decade. This case has everything: confusing timelines, political pressure, global outrage, secret recordings, conflicting statements, and a fight between world powers over the truth. By the end of this video, you will know who Khashoggi was, how he died, what Saudi Arabia claimed, what Turkey proved, when the UN found, and why the US still can't decide who to blame. Let's start from the beginning. To understand why Khashoggi's death became international news, you have to know who he was. Jamal Khashoggi wasn't just a journalist. He was one of Saudi Arabia's most well-known reporters. For decades, he covered major events: the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, the rise of Osama bin Laden, the political shifts in the Middle East. He had close ties with the Saudi royal family. He even advised the Saudi government. But by 2017, things changed. A new leader, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, often called MBS, rose to power. He launched a major crackdown on dissent. Businessmen, academics, activists, many were detained. Khashoggi feared he would be next, so he left Saudi Arabia and moved to the United States. From there, he wrote for the Washington Post and openly criticized the Crown Prince's policies, from arrests to foreign policies to human rights violations. His articles reached millions, and not everybody liked his words. But through all this, Khashoggi was planning something simple. He wanted to marry his Turkish fiancée. And for that, he needed a document from the Saudi consulate in Istanbul. Here's where the story turns. Khashoggi visited the consulate once on 28 September 2018. He asked for a document stating he was divorced. They told him, come back on October 2, it will be ready. He didn't think anything bad would happen and even told his fiancée that nothing dangerous could happen on Turkish soil. But just in case, he gave her 2 phones before walking in. He said, if I don't come out, call this number. He walked inside the consulate at 1:14 p.m. and was never seen again. Hatice, his fiancée, waited outside for more than 10 hours. He didn't come out, he didn't call, he didn't text. The next morning, she came back. Still nothing. Something was very wrong. Now, multiple governments have got involved. Saudi Arabia's story kept changing. For 2 weeks, Saudi officials said, we have no idea what happened. He left the building. Even the Crown Prince told Bloomberg he walked out after a few minutes, but Turkey insisted he never left. Then on October 20, Saudi Arabia suddenly changed its story. They said Khashoggi died in a fight inside the consulate after resisting a team sent to persuade him to return home. A few days later, the story changed again. A Saudi official said he died from a chokehold. Then one more shift. Investigators said he was injected with a drug, overdosed, and died. His body was dismembered and handed to a local collaborator. But none of these explanations matched what Turkey found. Now, let's discover what Turkey discovered. Turkey said a 15-member team flew from Saudi Arabia to Istanbul the same day Khashoggi arrived. One of them was a forensic expert who carried a bone saw. There was audio recordings inside the consulate. The murder was planned days in advance. Turkish officials were very clear this was ordered at the highest levels of the Saudi government. They never said MBS did it, but the hint was obvious. Here comes Saudi Arabia's internal investigation. Saudi Arabia announced 31 people questioned, 21 arrested, 5 unnamed officials confessed. They removed several senior officials: Deputy Intelligence Chief Ahmed Assiri, Saud Al-Qahtani, top advisor to MBS in January 2019. 11 people were put on trial. It happened behind closed doors. Names weren't revealed. Evidence wasn't shared. In December 2019, 5 were sentenced to death, 3 got long prison terms, 3 were acquitted. Now comes UN investigation. The UN reporter Agnes Callamard released a detailed report in 2019. She said this was an extrajudicial killing. The Saudi state was fully responsible. There was credible evidence linking the operation to MBS. The Saudi investigation failed to meet international standards. The trial should be stopped because it was not transparent. Saudi Arabia rejected the UN report, calling it biased. Now let's talk about the US involvement. This is where it gets even more political. In 2021, under President Biden, the US intelligence report finally went public. It said MBS approved a plan to capture or kill Khashoggi. But even after this, the US did not sanction the Crown Prince directly. Then came a twist. In 2024, Donald Trump, the current president of US, welcomed MBS to the White House. Trump said MBS knew nothing about it. Things happen. Khashoggi's widow, Hanan, responded. The Crown Prince himself admitted responsibility in 2019. Again, the world was left confused. Here's the biggest twist. Till today, nobody knows where Jamal Khashoggi's body is. Not one country has been told what happened to his remains. Not Turkey, not the United Nations, not even Khashoggi's family. For a case that shook global politics, the truth is still incomplete. Saudi Arabia says case closed. Turkey says not at all. The UN says this was a state killing. The US says we know what happened, but we won't punish the top decision maker, and that's why this one death inside a small consulate office created one of the biggest diplomatic storms of our lifetime. So here's what we know. Jamal Khashoggi walked into the Saudi consulate to get a simple document. He never came out. Saudi Arabia's explanation changed many times. Turkey's evidence pointed to a planned operation. UN investigators blamed the Saudi state. The US intelligence community blamed the Crown Prince, but politics softened the response. And years later, no one knows where his body is. And the person who ordered the operation still remains a global mystery. Do you think the full truth will ever come out? Or will this case stay buried forever? Tell me in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, subscribe and follow The Edge.